Well, you can recognise who I'm with. Now, the idea for Doctor Who first came from Sidney Newman, who was the BBC's head of drama, and he appointed Verity Lambert to be the first producer of the programme. She's since become something of a giant in the film and television business, responsible for series like Minder. As Debbie found out when she met her last week, it was her first job as a producer, and she turned a science fiction drama into a smash hit.
The first young woman was his granddaughter, actually, and she was at school. And she was rather precocious in certain ways, because, of course, she knew a great deal more in certain areas, but she still was a teenager, if you like.
I'm not trying to be rude, but...
Her school teachers, the two school teachers who sort of got very worried about her, and they followed her back to this junkyard where this police phone box was, and they followed her in, and, of course, the doctor was furious, and so they all took off. So for the first sort of 18 months, I guess, these two school teachers were also on the trip. And of course, when we started, the TARDIS went backwards and forwards in time, so sometimes some of the episodes were in the past, as opposed to being in the future.
And they were based on fact?
They were all based on fact. So we did things like the French Revolution, and we did one on Marco Polo, which actually Warris directed.
What other early decisions were you responsible for?
Well, we made a decision, which was actually really because of money. Originally, the TARDIS was supposed to change its exterior shape so that it blended in wherever it was. So we found it as a blue police box in England in the 60s, but it was supposed to change into whatever, wherever it went. But that was terribly expensive. So we made a decision just to keep it as the TARDIS, that whatever made it change its shape had gone wrong, or the doctor didn't know how to work it. So it always remained as a police box, which actually I think was a terrific advantage. Because there was this rather incongruous police box sitting in the middle. The first episode in sort of caveman out in the middle of a desert.
It's still a police box. Why hasn't it changed? Dear, dear. How very disturbing.
What happened with the first Dalek series was that the first 4 episodes of Doctor Who went out, and it was so odd, and nobody really knew how to take it. And the BBC, people within the BBC got a bit nervous and said, this can't go on for a year, it's not going to work, we must do only 13. And I think the first Daleks was 7. We loved it, but Donald Wilson, who was head of the serials department, hated it. And he said, well, you can't do this, it's absolutely terrible. We didn't have another serial ready to put in, so we had to go ahead and do it. And of course it was an enormous success, and nobody ever talked about cancelling Doctor Who ever after that.